show. Thank you so much. Yay. So everybody has loved this show so far. We had great interviews and it's just getting better and better. I'm gonna ask you for a big favor. If you could share this video right now to your page so your friends can see us live, that would be great, because that way they can participate on our raffle at the end of the show. So please share this video to your page on Facebook right now. Give us your hearts, give us your likes, so we know you're there. And remember, if you make a comment or ask a question, you'll participate in the raffle. And today we're giving out, besides discounts, we're going to be giving out Starbucks gift cards, okay? So today we have a very good show because I'm dying to know all this information as well. We have my very good friend Alberto Zuniga. Beto, for everyone.
Hello everybody, nice to meet you all. Alberto Zuniga, Countywide Pest and Termite.
So Beto, we have so many questions for you because...
Really glad to answer, and hopefully all this information that we share is helpful and you gain a lot of knowledge from this.
I think I know I will. As a realtor, even though I worked with you for so many years, there's so many things I'm always asking.
There's always something to
so
learn.
I realized that most of the people Mexican people that live here in this area, they came from Mexico and they're used to having properties that were built with concrete or bricks, so they're not used to termites.
That's right.
So they have these houses here and they have no idea what's going on behind those walls because they have no clue what termites are.
That's
you know, being from Mexico, like I never knew that until I came here. So I have some questions for you. I'll go over these questions and then maybe you can share some extra information.
Sure.
And then everyone else, if you guys have any questions, please make your comments, ask your questions, and at the end of the show we're going to go over those questions. And I have my manager, Karen, here. I feel like I'm being audited. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Karen.
Hi. Supporting us here at Coldwell Banker. We have such a good team here support. Okay, so let's go over the first question.
Sure.
Beto. What are termites?
Okay. Termites, without going into that much of a scientific term, termites, let's just call the bugs that are the worst enemy of a house. Of course, it's nature's way of like recycling. They do not know it's a house. They just know it's wood. And pretty much they eat anything that's wood or that at one point was wood. So like, let's say they can eat a book. They can eat a piece of furniture, a chair. They can eat couches, cabinets, and then of course the structure of the house. The very important is that they are harmless to humans. So so it's not like people can be afraid of being bitten by a termite unless you have a wooden leg. If you have a wooden leg, then you might be at risk. Other than that, you're fine.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so now we know that was one of my questions, if we should be scared of them. So how do they arrive to my house?
Okay. There's two types of termites. One is the destructive kind, and two is the more destructive kind. Okay. They both fly. I'm sorry. Now let's start from let's say the worst ones. In this area, they are subterranean termites. They live underground. They're more destructive because their colony is bigger. Okay. More of them fit in the colony, so of course they're more destructive. And the way to treat those is that you first have to identify them to see the difference, because you treat them differently. Now that you identify that, let's say we're going to start with subterranean termites. Now that you identify that you have subterranean termites, you got to find the entry point. Subterranean termites live underground. So they come from underground, they build like little mud tubes, and they try to connect the soil to the wood of the house. So that's why their little mud tubes are there. They're mostly like to protect them. Sometimes if you're on a house that's on a raised foundation, if you have subterranean termites, they sometimes build like the mud tubes from the wood underneath to the soil, because they have to go to their nest. And instead of them going like this and then all the way around, they just build a tube. They know that sooner or later it's going to connect them to the soil, so they just keep going and going and going and going.
Wow.
And those are the most, I would say, the most destructive ones. They swarm. To answer your question, that's how they arrive in your house. When they're swarming, they look like flying ants. They're black, they're tiny, kind of like the little bugs or little flies that are within the fruit, like when you have like a sitting banana or something like that, kind of like that, a little bit bigger, maybe like in between an ant and that size. So that's how those arrive to your house. They need moisture. So if you have subterranean termites underneath your house, more than likely it's because you have a leak. So that's the main reason. Now the other termites are the drywood termites, and those arrive to your house when they swarm, also when they're flying. They also look kind of like flying ants, but their head is red. They're just a little bit bigger than subterranean termites. But also when they're swarming, they can get into your house, but also like they can come in within furniture, or like, let's say a piece of wood that has been infected. That's how they can come into your house.
Oh, like you bring them when you bring that
That's correct.
piece of furniture.
So it's very important that when you're moving, if you can leave your furniture, if, like, let's say if you're buying a house, of course you're buying a house with Faby, and if you're getting your house tented, don't move your furniture, just leave it inside the house. And that
when
way,
you're doing the tent,
when you're doing the tent,
so it gets treated.
It gets treated that way. When you move, you can take your furniture and it's already been treated.
Oh, that's
a very good idea. Tip.
So how long does it take before I notice they're in my house?
Well, subterranean termites swarm in the spring. So, okay, that's when they swarm. That's when you'll probably see them flying around, and then you'll start seeing them. They'll act pretty quick. Like maybe within the week, you'll start seeing mud tubes. You'll start noticing something that wasn't there. Okay, drywood termites, it does take them a little bit longer. So like they infest your house, they just keep going, and maybe around 4 years after they've been infesting your house, that's when you're going to start noticing them. That's when you're going to see them around the window. You're going to see, you know what, I have flying ants around my window.
4 years.
They're not flying.
They've already eaten too much of your house by then, behind the drywall.
More than likely because you haven't seen them. So they are eating, that's all they do.
Yeah, that's the scary
And then when
part.
you have swarmers, when you have the flying ants, you'll probably see them around the windows, around the screens, around the window sills, sometimes on the light fixtures, because they see the light and they think that's the way out. So that's when you have a pretty good infestation, and that's when you tent. Subterranean termites don't die with a tent, drywood termites do. And that's when you tent, because honestly you don't know where they're coming from.
So
they could be coming from within the walls, and the only thing they see is a way out, but that doesn't mean that's where they're at. That's just their way out.
Right. So let's say if my neighbor tents his house, do they come over to my house?
No, there's really no way of them from coming to your house, because everything gets concealed within the tarp.
Oh, okay.
That's the main purpose of the tarp, is to contain the gas within the structure. Okay, so once you put the tarp on the house, nothing comes out.
Okay.
Nothing, not even a cat. So they can't, or a dog, they can't lift the tarp and they can't get out. So no, termites do not fly from one house to the other because it's being tented.
Okay, that's good to know. That was one of the questions that a lot of the people had. And so how can I prevent them from coming to my house?
It's the best thing to do is just order a termite inspection about every year.
Countywide Termite here?
About every year. That's the best way to do it. I always recommend people to do
So
a
every year tent their house every year?
No,
Oh,
at least have it inspected.
Okay.
Like let's say if you bought a house right now and the house was tented, well, it's a good idea to have it inspected maybe next year, just to make sure everything is still fine. Like with our company, we offer a 3-year warranty on fumigations on tents. So you do not have to buy any additional insurance or any protection with us. So you could just call me, hey, can you come and give me an inspection just to make sure everything's fine? More than likely, everything will be fine. There should be no problems. Now, once the warranty expires, it's a good thing to do a tent about every 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, I get clients that they have owned the house for 30 years, and well, you saw the house that we sold, remember? The termites were already on the kitchen cabinets, and by the time they noticed, it's because they were crawling out of the paint. Like the paint was holding the walls. It seemed like
that's pretty much it, because that house right there had subterranean termites, and subterranean termites, they eat kind of like the paper on the drywall. So you know how it has paper, then like the white chalky part, and then paper. So they eat the paper. Now the texture is not attached to anything, so the texture is just falling apart. And then they were eating the cabinet.
That was scary. I remember because they were eating the foundation of the house. Remember, had to that house had to be redone, the whole thing, because
and that's pretty sure, because nothing was ever done to that house.
That was never tented. I think people, they don't know.
Nope.
They don't know, so they don't do it on purpose. Okay, so how much does it cost to tent the house or to have like a treatment every year, just like local treatment or an inspection?
It's the inspection. We charge $75 for the inspection, and depending on what we find and the level of infestation is a recommendation we do.
Okay.
Like I'll tell you the truth. If I see that I can treat it and I'll take care of them with just a spot treatment, I'll tell you right there. If I can't treat them with a spot, and I think that you need to tent, the price of the tent depends on the size of the house.
Okay.
Because depending on the size of the house is the amount of gas that's going to be shot into the house. So that's the main, let's say.
So on an average, let's say a 3-bedroom house.
Maybe around $1,200, $1,300.
Okay.
But it's best for sure just have it measured, and then we can give an accurate price on that.
So it's around.
And then the price for the repairs, it all depends the extent of the repairs themselves.
That's another.
So, and we never take deposits. We always do the work, and then once everything's done, we get paid. And if it's through escrow, we get paid through escrow, and that we never ever take money up front.
Before, okay, that's great to know. So how long does the tenting treatment last?
Okay, the process of tenting, and then I'll tell you like how long it is.
Right.
The process of tenting is 3 days. So like let's say on the first day, like today is Wednesday, around 4:15 p.m. So like let's say if the gas is being shot into the structure on Wednesday, July 13th. What's the date today?
July 12th.
Okay, if the gas is being shot on the structure on Wednesday, July 12th at around 4:15 p.m., the tarp is removed on Friday. It all depends on the fumigators for how long they're gonna leave the gas into the structure. So, but the tarp is removed on the third day. And our company usually delivers the houses by noon on the third day. That way, if the owner or the tenant or the occupant rents a room at a hotel, checkout time is at 11. So usually we give them their house by the time they check out, they can move in. And by then, the gas leaves no residue, no odors. You can't even notice anything's been
So you don't have to wash all your clothes and your dishes and all that?
What you have to take out from the structure that's being fumigated is anything that's alive. So like plants, pets, and people, that has to be taken out. The food in the refrigerator, freezer, pantry, any edibles are put in special bags that we provide, and that's left inside the property. So you do not need to wash your dishes. You do not need to wash any surface. The floor, you don't need to wash your clothes. Everything's fine.
It's safe.
It's safe. The gas leaves no odor, no residue, no film.
I always thought you had to wash all your dishes. Like usually when you fumigate the house for other pests, you have to.
Yeah, because you apply a liquid, and then the liquid sits, and then it's absorbed.
Also, this is a gas, that's why.
It's a gas. So the gas comes, does its kill, and then it leaves.
I'm learning more than you guys. Okay, so and then how long does it last, the treatment on the house itself?
Well, like I said, our company has a 3-year warranty on fumigations, but biologically, it takes termites 4 years to grow and to start having a family, having babies. When they start having babies, that's when they start multiplying. That's when there's more, and that's when they get destructive.
So it would take like 7 years.
So about every 7 or 8 years. So, like on the 4th year, even if it got infested on the next day after you remove the tarp, on the 4th year, you might start seeing them. And then by then, on the 5th year, they've been working for 1 year on your house, 6th year, 2 years. So if you do it on the 7th year, you're fine. You won't have that much wood to replace, and the damage won't be that much. If you do it sooner, you might spend too much money fumigating, and you don't need it.
Right, just spending money you don't have to. And how about painting? Does it matter if a house is painted? Some people tend to think, well, I haven't painted the house, that's going to attract termites. Does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter. The thing is that termites work from the inside out. So when they're flying, they land on the house, and they're just crawling. They shed their wings, and then they're crawling, and then they find this little crack, a little nail hole. They get into the wood, and that's when they start just going at it. And they work from the inside out. So like, let's say they're right here, and then they're eating outwards like that. And then the last thing you see is the top layer of paint. So when you're inspecting a house, if you pay close attention, you'll see that the paint sometimes is bubbled. That's because there's no grain underneath the house. Underneath the paint, they already ate it. So the paint is not attached to anything. And then you poke it, and then it just make a hole, and all the droppings come out. So, you kind of know what to look for.
Oh, wow. So where can they reach you, and do you have any discounts before we go there, We have some questions.
Go ahead.
Let's go with the questions. Jaime, are you gonna tell me the questions?
How long do you need to treat for termites?
Okay, so he did go over that. It's 3 days. They tent the house and then they remove it on the 3rd day.
That's correct.
So it's like 3 days.
And then it says, how fast do termite eat wood?
That's a good question.
How fast? Okay.
There's really.
So the question was, how fast do termites eat?
Like, let's
the
say
wood?
once they infest your house, how fast can they
Finish
just-
it, yeah.
how fast can they finish your house? That's a really hard question because there's really no test on to see how long. Like, no one put an actual piece of wood
To test
to
it.
test it. But books say that it takes termites about a year to eat a 2x4 by 10 foot length wood piece of board. You know? Takes them about a year.
Okay.
But the thing is that right here, termites love Southern California for the same reason that we love Southern California: the weather, the temperature, the humidity, everything that's attractive to us, same to them. So we have the perfect ingredients to always have termites. The closer you are to the water, the more attractive it is to them. So sometimes if you're close to the ocean, you might need to fumigate more often
Because of the moisture.
because of the moisture than as if you're in Alpine where it's just cold or too hot. So the best thing to do is just have your house inspected about every year or so.
Right.
Things do not change drastically within 1 year.
Okay. So $75 to inspect your house once a year. It's totally worth it because
And it is better than buying a warranty, because sometimes you buy an insurance or a warranty and you don't have any termites and you still have to pay.
yeah, I have some of my clients that have that warranty, and they still have to pay also for the inspection report when they're selling,
When they're
which is
selling.
the case right now with one of them. I'm like, you should get it for free. You've been having this warranty with them for a year. They should know that it's termite free. But
Exactly.
he still ended up having to pay for that. Okay, I see Celicet has a question. Did we have to do an inspection, and how often? Yes, every year. You have
About
to do an
every year.
About every year. How about any additional advice that you want to give them, or
Okay, one thing is, like, make sure you walk around your house and make sure that there's no dirt touching like the structure, because that's like one of the biggest entry points for subterranean termites. Just make sure the dirt is not touching the wall. If you can, move it back
so do concrete, a little bit of concrete around your house.
around your house, and that way you can prevent subterranean termites from coming in. Check your screens on the outside, not the window screens, but the vents on the attic, because sometimes those are broken, and that's an easy entry point for termites. They really can't do nothing against nature. It's just nature trying to recycle,
Right.
But if you do as best as you can to stop them from coming into your house, they might go to the house next door.
If you don't like your neighbors, make sure you're keep your house fumigated. Just kidding. Okay, so now tell me, how do they get a hold of you, and do our viewers get a discount from you?
Okay, my number is 619-822-9536. I'm out on the field almost every day, Monday through Friday, or through Saturday, or through Sunday, almost 24/7, because I have to sleep. So you can just get a hold of me right there. You can text me, you can send me an email at countywidepest@yahoo.com, and that's probably the best way to get a hold of me, because it goes to my office, it comes to my phone, someone's gonna answer that way.
And you also have a Facebook page for your
Yes, I
business.
do.
What is it? What's the name of your?
It is Countywide Pest and Termite. And the discount that we're offering, or that I'm offering for you guys today, is free inspection, which everybody offers a free inspection. But I offer you a 10% discount on any work that's performed. And if you would like to just mention it after I give you the price, that way you're getting a real discount. That way I'm not inflating the price before and then bringing it down, so you guys can get a discount.
So it's a real discount.
Yes, it's a real discount. So I'll give you a price. You call me a fumigate, I'll give you the price. I say, I saw you on Faby. Oh, then I bring it from there.
You saw it on a Good Day Chula Vista
You saw it on Good Day Chula Vista.
Okay, perfect. So now you guys know about termites. It's something that happens to everybody's house here if they're not treating the house for termites. And we are gonna have, you know, we forgot to tell you at the beginning of the show that we are gonna do another short live video in Spanish after this one. Once this one is it ends, we'll start another one, because we have a lot of our viewers, our tíos and tías and abuelitas, they're on Facebook and they want to know the information. Last week we had one for trust, living trust, and they couldn't share it with their uncles and their family because they don't speak English, and they wanted to know about living trust. So what I'm gonna do, whenever I have a guest that speaks Spanish as well, we're gonna do another live video after, just to go over these things in Spanish for our Spanish speaking viewers, okay?
And that's just real quick, just to add, it's very important that termites, every house has them, and if the house does not have them, it might have them at one point. It's not something that you would really be scared of, because everything regarding termites can get treated and fixed.
Okay, it's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world.
Call Beto for us.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna have the raffle for our viewers, and today we're giving 2 $10 gift cards for Starbucks. And let's see who the thank you. All right, so you're gonna be the one to pull a name. So one, and then because we have 2 cards, so the first one is for Salvador Rey Fregoso. Yay! Okay, so we'll mail that to you. And then the second one, thank you so much for supporting us. You're always on it. Thank you so much.
Ana Martinez.
Ana Martinez, hermosa. That's one of my best friends from elementary school. So thank you, Ana Banana. She's I'll take it to your house. I'm not gonna mail yours since you're here in town.
Even more personalized.
Yes, of course. I'll stop by. I think I don't know. I think you treated her house as well.
Maybe.
I think so. You've done most of my clients. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much. Join us next week. We have really good shows coming up in the next few weeks. In 3 weeks, we're going to have one very interesting about vesting, how to hold title. We're going to have an expert from Tiger Title, Tony Santiago, and he's going to be explaining to us the different ways of holding title. Some people are holding title in a way that they don't even know they're holding title in that way. So when somebody passes away, it's difficult. We didn't get a chance to talk about it during the Living Trust interview, but we're going to have another interview in a couple of weeks. So we'll have a list on the page so you know what's coming.